Today on New England Living. For 140 years, they've been training students in Boston for some of the world's most unique jobs. But chances are you've never heard of them until now. Plus, in Dover, New Hampshire, we'll check out a family-run craft popcorn company with a distinct mission. And renowned chef Jose Duarte shows off how to prepare a traditional Peruvian quinoa dish with a modern twist. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England has a style all its own. The people, the history, the culture. Join us as we discover the faces and places, the design and destinations, everyone and everything that makes New England extraordinary. I'm glad I discovered it now. Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. First up, we're heading to Boston's historic North End to visit America's first and oldest trade school. Founded in 1881, Boston's North Bennet Street School offers hands-on training in a number of programs, including bookbinding, violin making, piano technology, carpentry, and jewelry making and repair, led by Department Head Ann Cahoon.
We have three primary focuses. Most of what we start with are basic hand skills, focusing on what we refer to as fabrication. So when we say fabrication, we're talking about actually building a piece of jewelry from wire, from sheet, using skills like sawing, filing, soldering. We are at the same time teaching folks to repair jewelry. Repair is actually really different than fabrication. If you don't know how to build it though, you don't know how to fix it. The last piece, and it's what a lot of people come to us for, is stone setting. Stone setting is a very specific, very rigorous discipline, and it can be hard to find instruction in really high quality technical stone setting. So that's another piece of what we do, and it's all kind of happening at the same time. Being in New England is actually also really meaningful as a jeweler. Some of the largest jewelry manufacturing companies were located in Providence, Rhode Island, which is just a stone's throw away. Paul Revere, everyone knows, was a silversmith and was literally right down the street from the location where we're standing now. So metalsmithing, silversmithing, goldsmithing has pretty deep roots here in New England.
In addition to teaching, you're actually in the business too. What do you do outside of school?
I work with my husband in a company where we focus on making wedding rings. And I think one of the things that's really important about that is sometimes people get nervous when they have a full-time instructor. And reasonably, they might be concerned that someone doesn't have experience and they might become a little bit too academic. My life is jewelry, so when I'm not teaching here, I'm working in the family business. And that experience in the industry really helps me fine-tune our curriculum and make sure that our students have the skills that they really need to be viable in the workforce.
And is that common with the faculty here?
I would say it's universal with the faculty. All of us have craft practices or businesses outside of school. For me, North Bennet Street is the foundation of everything that I do in my work life that has allowed me to kind of arrive where I am. It's really given my career both form and meaning.
What types of students do you see in your classes?
So we see all kinds of students. My youngest students are coming straight out of high school and starting their careers with us. We have students who are joining us after service in the military as veterans and retraining for new jobs and new careers. We also get older students who are here pursuing their passions. The instruction is extremely individual. The underpinning of how we do things here is something called SLOID, and SLOID focuses on teaching the whole person, taking into account their lived experience and meeting them right where they are. Our typical student, I think regardless of program, is someone who really wants to work with their hands. They want an immersive learning environment where it's not watching videos, it's not learning from a book, it's the opportunity to actually hands-on experience the craft or the trade that you're coming here to explore.
Stephen O'Shaughnessy is also a former North Bennet student and the head of the Preservation Carpentry program.
Preservation Carpentry is a place where someone can learn fundamental woodworking skills, learn to be an amateur architectural historian, understand old buildings and the unique skills that might be needed to maintain and repair them.
And what kinds of students do you get in your classes?
Oh, our students come from all walks of life. I've had former financial people, a librarian from Harvard. The thing they have in common is that they all have an appreciation for early architecture, old houses, and they have a willingness to learn, regardless of whether they're 19 coming right out of high school or whether they're 60.
This is obviously a very hands-on class, as we can see from all of the tools here, but you make sure that your students can get out and actually work on some pretty cool projects. So what are some things that they've been able to do?
Every graduating class goes out and works on historic buildings. The projects we work on are simple, where they're working on trim replacement, scraping, painting, restoring windows, reglazing windows. Sometimes they're bigger projects. A big project that is phased now is the John Hancock entryway. We have in our stewardship the original front door to this amazing house that was built in 1737, and students have been working on that project phased for years now. We have access to organizations like Historic New England that has dozens and dozens of buildings, amazing buildings from the 17th century to the 20th century, like the Peabody Essex Museum that also has a campus of amazing buildings that have given access to me and to my students.
What makes you so passionate about this place?
I credit my experience, my education at North Bennet for where I am now. I gain great pride to say that skills that might otherwise have died out are being learned here at North Bennet.
One of those people learning those skills is Brock Leyendecker, one of Stephen's former students and now an instructor in the carpentry program.
We're a little different than some of the other programs, but very similar to the preservation department, where we have a start to our school year inside, learning basic skills, and then we take the students out in the spring and we work on projects for clients that have hired the school to work on a variety of different tasks. We take our experiences, our professional experiences, and bring those right into the classroom. It impacts how we teach, it impacts what we teach.
I couldn't help but notice there's a house behind us, so there's actually a few of them here. What is this project all about?
So the Bennet Town project is a fantastic way for our students to experience the full residential construction system. We can create a controlled environment in here where the students have a chance to learn floor framing, wall framing, sheathing on the exterior of a building, exterior trim, siding, building science. And then we go inside the Bennet Town models and they get to do drywall work, finish wood flooring, interior trim, window trim, installation of doors, installation of windows. So it's a really complete project where the students are learning a ton of information in 8 to 10 weeks, and then we transfer those skills right to the spring projects.
And being here in beautiful New England, how does that affect your program?
The way we teach residential building in Boston, in New England at North Bennet Street School is very New England centric. We have to pay attention to the climate that New England has. We get hot, warm, humid summers, and we have incredibly cold winters. We have a broad range, and so the students have to understand how that affects the materials and the architectural styles that we work with.
At the end of your course, what are you hoping the big takeaway is with your students?
You've got a great foundation leaving North Bennet Street's carpentry program. You come out of here with really employable skills and the chance to go and work for some amazing customers and some amazing companies. Watching a student achieve something, watching a student who just learned how to do something, apply those skills, and then their eyes light up, you see this look of, I got it. I did that. This was me. This siding, this trim work was me. We figured this out. Seeing that expression on a student's face is just absolutely amazing. There's so much energy in it that you can't help but be happy and laughing and smiling all day long working with these students.
Coming up after the break, we're going to the Bennet St to get a special look inside a family-owned business making popcorn with a purpose when New England Living returns after this.